Good evening. Tonight we are going to be celebrating the life of a very, very good friend of mine who died a year ago today. And I was with her when she was given a diagnosis of having stage 4 terminal lung cancer. But they also had to tell her that it had already spread to her brain, her lymph, her bones, and lungs, bone, lymph, and brain, yeah. So you would imagine that I would be telling you a story of her just sorting out her affairs and waiting for death to come. But instead, she very dynamically lived for 7.5 years, and she was a complete maverick. She ended up doing the thing that she had wanted all her life to do, which was to write, and she became an absolutely international best-selling author. And she wrote The Cancer Whisperer and Life Shocks, and she did much else besides. But the reason why I want to share this with you today is because tonight, just before I go on to this Zoom meeting, I'm really reminded of her because she and I used to talk about what was underneath sabotaging behaviours. And those of us who have chronic illness or acute episodes or are diagnosed with terrifying diseases like cancer, we are often in some ways privileged enough to come across integrated practitioners who support us in rearranging our diets, what we put on our skin, what kind of water we drink. Everything is rearranged to help our bodies help us and save our lives. And initially we can be incredibly disciplined about doing whatever it takes. And then inevitably we come across behaviors that aren't necessarily working for us. And yet what this little tiny video is about is that really so? So my work and Sophie's was very different, but what we shared was a willingness to get honest with ourselves and then with other people and help people unravel what is going on when suddenly sabotaging behaviour is coming up. So I'm amused to be able to tell you that for someone who doesn't normally eat chocolate and for someone who is on a medical protocol, I just want to show you some evidence of sabotaging in myself. And I know that Sophie will be laughing. So if I have chocolate, I have dark chocolate with salt in it. I usually have, I don't think I'm a chocolate snob, maybe I am. I usually have Lindt. I definitely don't have whatever the Galaxy. But I have absolutely willfully and quite deliberately had a walk of premeditated sabotage. And what that tells me, because I immediately know not to judge it, is that another layer of grief and shock is coming up. And that is really some of what Sophie's work was about and is so brilliantly being continued by Fabian Tyler. So please, those of you that know anybody who is attempting to save their own butts with cancer, will you please just tell them to look up Sophie Sabbage and Fabian Tyler, who's continuing Sophie's work, because it really is extraordinary. And Sophie lived for 7.5 years. Probably she was expected to live for about 3 to 6 months. So there is huge amounts of hope, and this is a tongue-in-cheek video for darling Sophie, because tonight of all nights, I myself am sabotaging. So take care, and I hope that you really enjoy this. And if you know of anyone who is living with cancer and really wants to have the tools to thrive, you can get hold of me. I will put you on to Fabian, or just look up Sophie Sabbage, or more importantly, Fabian Tyler, who is continuing her work fantastically. Thank you for listening.